My name is Daphne. I work in the marketing department, and the new motion, it was started to help in eradicating fossil fuel. That was the big hairy goal at the beginning. And what we actually do is, when you buy an electric car, then you need a couple of things. So you need a charge point, you need a charge card to access public charge points. We also have an app, so you can actually find the charge points that you need, the public charge points. And we always sort of had the role to introduce new drivers to the world of electric driving. So we try to explain more than just our products, also sort of the behavioral changes that are needed. When you go on vacation with an electric car, then you need a couple of things. We try to help out there, especially because electric driving is a new area for a lot of customers. So we try to be at help and also make it more easy to actually drive an electric vehicle. But especially in the Netherlands, electric driving becomes more of a commodity. Well, I think because we are really in there, we see it all the time, but it started to get more mainstream sort of. So our role is shifting a bit, but we still make the products that people need.
All right.
That's the funny thing, because we are trying to actually not sell the car. We sell our products as a way to make it easy. So that's the nuance. I actually don't think electric driving is that big of a problem, but it kind of depends on your driving behavior. If you have to cover a lot of distance, then you have to be really patient, or you have to drive a Tesla. Otherwise, for now, that's difficult. Luckily, a lot is happening, so we can really see that batteries become bigger because they are cheaper to process. And when the batteries are better and cheaper, a lot more people buy the cars, because the car gets cheaper if the battery is cheaper, and if the battery is also bigger, then they can cover more distances. Well, in the Netherlands, we make sure that all the energy the people that they are charging with our charge cards, that they use green energy, so they charge on green energy. We are expanding to France, UK, and Germany, and Belgium, and in those countries we cannot guarantee that yet, but that is something that we would really like to do, because we are really aware of the fact that electric driving is way more sustainable than driving a petrol car. But if you actually drive on renewable energy, then there's only win, and that's what we really want to do to make that happen.
So which one is your main access? Is it more like to be like in cities and everywhere, or just privately?
No, more private grounds. And semi-private. So like hotels, for example, and parking spaces. We work a lot with those kind, but also home locations and business locations. We never, that's not true. Sometimes we tender for the public spaces, but then we always do that in a collaboration, because our charge point is never actually installed at a public space. So then we work with Allego, for example.
As we now have your card. We're gonna have to. We hope to use it a lot. So where would the charge point be, like the public ones? Where would that be?
But that's a funny thing that you mentioned that, because what is actually one of our biggest USPs is that we collaborate a lot with our competitors, so to speak. So we make sure that even though we are not the provider of the charge point, you can actually charge her with our charge card. And this is actually a unique position in the EV business, because we have the biggest coverage with our charge cards. So this is a really big challenge, and it's actually Yeah, almost funny. This is a new market, and a lot of people that are entering the market, they want to do it all. So they want that their charge card is the biggest, but they also want the biggest charge network. So for example, in the UK, a lot of new companies are entering this market, and they don't collaborate at first because they want to do it all. So in the UK, you have to drive around with like 15 charge cards to access all the different charge points.
Okay.
And this is something that the NewMotion has done from the beginning, that we say, okay, we all want this market to be big. We all want that it becomes really an attractive form of mobility. So we need to work together on this one, because otherwise people will go on vacation with like 100 charge cards, and that's just crazy. Yeah. So, and luckily this idea gets picked up a lot now, because everyone sees the big benefit if we just make sure that the EV driver gets help.